The Vision High School Sports Beat is brought to you by the 11 locally owned Vision Automotive Group dealerships, offering Buick GMC, Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Hyundai, Kia, and Nissan, and the resale division, with locations in Webster, Henrietta, Penfield, Fairport, Canandaigua, Ontario, and Palmyra, and online at visionauto.com. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us at the Vision High School Sports Beat. I'm Bill Pucko. Every week at this time, we take a comprehensive look at sports in Section 5 in Monroe County and begin with our honor roll of high school teams. Number 3 this week, the boys Gates Chili pole vaulting tandem of Dylan DeConte and Dustin Meyer. Dylan vaulted 13 feet 9 inches and Dustin 13 even to claim the top 2 positions at the Webster Invitational. Their efforts somewhat overshadowed and will continue to be by the exploits of teammate Erica Ellis. At number 2, East High baseball once again. The Eagles are now 8-0 after winning their own tournament with victories over Lions and Waterloo. Eric Maldonado was 6 for 7 in those 2 wins. And at number 1, Webster Thomas baseball won 3 games last week to go to 6-2, beating Hilton, Rush Henrietta, and Gates Chili. Ryan Hill had an 8-hit week. He and Ryan Carragher combined to go 7 for 7 in that game against Hilton. We'll stay at Webster Thomas for a look now at an underappreciated lacrosse champion that manages expectation. With all the attention surrounding the likes of the Victor, Pittsford, Canandaigua, and Penfield lacrosse programs, it might surprise you to find that Webster Thomas is a defending Section 5 boys lacrosse champion. The Titans won Class B last year. In fact, over the past 4 springs, including this year's 8-1 start, Thomas has won 51 of its last 67 games. That's pretty good.
As we look at sectionals down the road, this is the one year where I feel there's gonna be quality programs being challenged in the quarterfinals, not even just the semifinals. So I think this year is going to be a challenge. It's going to be who's the healthiest at the end of the year and who has the most experience against big games, and hopefully that's why we play the schedule we do.
An obstacle to winning back-to-back this year is not of their own making. Victor, a 2-time defending state champion and undefeated again this year, has been reclassified. The Blue Devils are back in B, Webster's class. Is there an audible groan from the guys when they learned that Victor was playing down a class and that you'd have to go through them to repeat?
There was definitely talk of it, but we tried not to let it affect us at all in the off season. Still work hard as ever.
Yeah, you've got to look at it for what it is, right?
Yeah, definitely. We can't. There's definitely a cloud over our heads, but we can't let it affect the way we practice, the way we prepare.
Thomas is loaded in the junior class. Nick Mabe is another. He scored a 9-goal game recently, a Titan record.
The 2018 class is pretty strong for us, actually, and we like it. We like the attention. We like just getting on the field and just getting after it.
Among other juniors, Matt Hill is a legacy, with brothers playing at RIT and Penn State. So is fellow junior Trevor Ford. He succeeds brother Travis Ford, the team's top player a year ago, and now playing at Fairfield, where Trevor will rejoin him in a couple of years.
We've had a lot of legacies in that sense. We've been fortunate to have some great names, and it's scary to think when they're going to be gone that who's the next group. It's great because you get a relationship with the parents and you really understand how these kids think and what makes them click and how you can connect with them as a coach. That's probably the biggest piece, is that you really watch these kids develop and you kind of know who's the big brother, who's the little brother, what personality he has, and how you can connect with them as a coach. That helps a lot.
You play without your brother this year. That's different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something different. I feel like our team's coming better, and we got other players stepping up and doing different roles, and not all him centered around him this year. So it's been tough, but we're getting through it and we'll make it.
Thomas currently has 20 alums playing lacrosse in college, many in D3. Potsdam, Brockport, Oneonta, and Keuka have been particularly popular destinations. This is in part the result of good management of expectation, especially with players committing early to schools.
it's hard. It's a balance as a coach to know, well, I want you to come and play with us in the summer program because we're trying to develop a program. But then there's another tournament the next weekend where, hey, you might need to go play with your elite team because there's a bunch of Division I coaches going to be there. And then there's the other line, well, your kid's not a Division I, and I don't want to break your heart or bust your dream, but he's just not there. And there's nothing wrong with Division III. There's not a huge professional league. They're not going to go make millions. So really you go to school for college. And what's your degree? And I always try to tell our guys, like, hey, what's going to get you the job that provides you with a family that you want? Maybe it's what you grew up with or even better. So what degree gives you that? Is it the degree that gets you to college or lacrosse? Or is it the one that maybe an engineering degree and you go to one of these D3 schools? You go up to Clarkson and you get a job right out of the bat. I mean, those are the things they have to try to balance. And you as a coach, you never want to tell a parent where because you don't want to be held accountable, but you got to kind of give them all the different angles to think about.
Coming up next, Greece Arcadia's Tim Connor joins us in the Dunkin' Donuts Coaches Corner. And later on, the unexpected ace of the Irondequoit softball team. When the Vision High School Sports Beat continues. Make it iced, then make it happen. With flavors like butter pecan or the new coconut cream pie, it's America's iced coffee. Whenever, wherever. America runs on Dunkin'. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. This is the Vision High School Sports Beat. Time now for our Dunkin' Donuts Coaches Corner. We're joined by Tim Connor, track and field at Greece Arcadia. Tim, first thing that strikes me is that, with as many things going on at a track meet, being the head coach of a track team must be awfully difficult.
Yes, it can be, especially when we host a meet. When you're the host school, you have a lot of responsibilities. You're responsible for making sure all the mats are set up the proper way, making sure the hurdles are aligned up, taking off after the event, realigned.
I didn't even think of that stuff.
Yeah, they got to be redistributed for the 400-meter hurdles. So we're responsible for all that. Running concession stands, announcing first and second call for all the events. So there's a lot that goes into hosting a track meet.
See, but I'm just thinking about, we got shot putters and pole vaulters and, runners and distance runners, and you've got to know a little something about everything to help these guys.
Absolutely, yes. We have, I think, 7 different field events between, like you said, you get the pole vault, shot put, discus, high jump, long jump, triple jump, and then even the hurdles thrown in there too as well as for field events. Yeah, the flip side
of that though is, and you said, and not all schools have this, right? You've got 3 paid assistants.
I have another head coach. So our program is broken up. We have a boys team and a girls team. So we have a boys head coach and assistant, and then a girls head coach and assistant.
Well, that works better than you're having to do it all, don't you think?
Yes, it definitely helps having some other people to delegate responsibility to.
And look, it's a successful program. We know first because it's just Greece Arcadia's, with as many different combinations that Greece goes through in putting their sports teams together. I think just the fact that you can run a team that just says Greece Arcadia on it is a plus.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. Greece has been a very successful program, not just Arcadia, but Olympia, Athena. Within the past 10 years, all 3 of those teams have won sectional titles. So we've been very blessed here in Greece as a community with extremely talented track athletes.
What do you think accounts for that?
I mean, it's hard to say. I think we are a very large community. I mean, if you were to combine all 4 schools, you're talking of classes over 1,000 kids. So we have a very large pool of athletes to look at and that come out for the team. And with the success of the other programs in the community of Greece, I think it's gotten a lot of the other kids to come out. This year we have a team of 92 kids on the roster.
That's pretty sweet.
Yes.
Well, look, from Long Island through SUNY Brockport to here.
Yep.
That's a little. Most of our coaches actually have got more of a local background. What made you decide you wanted to be here?
I went to Brockport for college. I'm phys ed certified. So it was pretty much Cortland and Brockport were the 2 SUNY schools that were available to that. So I chose Brockport and did my student teaching here in Greece over at Arcadia Middle School. And I really loved the staff, the atmosphere, and I continued with my master's. And while I was doing that, I was substitute teaching here in Greece, and just was able to make some connections and kind of get my foot in the door.
And you were telling me earlier you thought there were some similarities between Greece and Long Island, which I think would surprise some of the locals.
Yeah, I think it would, but Greece, with it being a suburb of Rochester, it is largely built up. I mean, if you look at 104, and it's a very jam-packed road. You got a lot of businesses, malls, A lot of lights around that, and that's what reminds me about Long Island. It's very built up, but what I do love about here is if I go 10 minutes down the road into Hilton, it's a completely different atmosphere.
Escape.
So yes, you don't get that on Long Island.
Well, very good. Well, look, Tim Connor, thanks for joining us here on the Dunkin' Donuts Coach's Corner, and keep up the good work.
Thank you for having me.
Tim Connor, the track and field coach here at Greece Arcadia. Coming up, we salute our Wegmans Making the Grade nominee with Kim, and later, Amanda Northrup takes local softball by storm when the Vision High School Sports Beat continues.
Welcome back, and thank you for watching the Vision High School Sports Beat. I'm Kim Burnson. It's time now for Making the Grade, brought to you by Wegmans. Wegmans is a proud supporter of Making the Grade, which highlights the accomplishments of Section 5 student athletes on and off the playing field.
Making the grade this week is Pittsford Menden's Sarah Lyons. As a senior, Sarah helped lead Menden's varsity basketball team to a regional championship and state final. She averaged just over 17 points a game during the season and was named MVP of sectionals. She was a second-team All-Greater Rochester selection as a junior and honored as one of the best first-team candidates in her senior season. On top of that, Sarah is a three-sport athlete and was a member of Menden's varsity soccer team and won a sectional championship with the softball team as well. Sarah's volunteered along with her teammates at various community events like the Alzheimer's Walk for a family closely involved with the disease and raising awareness. She's also an excellent student who carries a 92 average and is in the National Honor Society. Next year, Sarah plans to continue her basketball career at WPI in Massachusetts, where she hopes to study engineering. For her hard work on the court and in the classroom, congrats to Sarah Lyons for making the grade.
If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. You can send them in to info@classywolf.com. Now here's Bill with the Fidelis Care Section 5 calendar.
Fidelis Care offers quality, affordable health coverage for children and adults of all ages at all stages of life. Quality health coverage. That's our mission. Call 1-888-FIDELIS or visit fideliscare.org. Here's a look at the week ahead. Baseball, the Monday-Wednesday series matchups have Rush Henrietta at Fairport on Monday at 4:30, and the same two teams at Rush Henrietta 2 days later, also at 4:30. The Comets then head to Webster on Friday for a 4:30 game at Schrader. Boys lacrosse, Victor comes off its games with the best teams out of Illinois and Michigan to play at Canandaigua Saturday under the lights at 7 o'clock. On the girls' side, Penfield plays at Canandaigua, 7:30. And Victor is at Pittsford, Sutherland Field on Friday at 7 o'clock. The track and field event of the week is in Hilton with the annual Running Cadet Classic, which begins Saturday at 4:30 and continues under the lights. That's the Fidelis Care Section 5 calendar for the week ahead. Coming up, Irondequoit varsity softball's talented newcomer when the Vision High School Sports Beat continues. Sign Impressions is more than just signs. It's a total graphics company. Embroidery, screen printing, team apparel, t-shirts, jackets, hats, and of course banners and signs. Visit signimpressions.com. Call us at 723-0420 to order your team or corporate apparel. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. This is the Vision High School Sports Beat. I'm Bill Pucko. Our Honor Roll of High School Athletes is brought to you by the Injury-Free Coalition for Kids. The Injury-Free Coalition for Kids of Rochester and the Smart Teen Driving Program, funded by the Allstate Foundation, encourages teens to pay attention, not get distracted, and to drive safely. Here is our Honor Roll of High School Athletes. At number 3, Amir Odie of the Brockport track team. He set a Rush Henrietta Relays record in the high jump, going at 6'1". At number 2, Eva Fitzsimmons of Fairport softball. The Raiders, playing at Myrtle Beach, swept a doubleheader against Pine Plains and Kellenberg. Eva batted 6 for 7 in those games. And at number 1, topping our list is another softballer, Jamie Rogers of Rush Henrietta. Jamie hit 3 home runs in a single game against Webster Schrader, giving her 4 for the week. And the Comets are 5-0. And now Sticky Lips Barbecue presents our Athlete of the Week. Is your school looking to raise money? Sticky Lips Barbecue has you covered. Check out our community barbecue fundraisers. Sticky Lips quality is an easy sell. Visit StickyLipsBBQ.com for more details. She is the unexpected ace of the Irondequoit softball team, who, despite the numbers, isn't quite sure how good she is yet. Something pretty exciting is happening at Irondequoit softball. Her name is Amanda Northrup.
Well, she had a nice year in JV last year. We knew she had potential. What was exciting for me as the coach was we had Olivia coming back, and then we had Amanda. And Amanda's a very diligent, hard worker, very conscientious, puts a lot of time into it. So honestly, I didn't know what to expect, but the results have been pretty good so far.
Amanda has been better than good. The sophomore pitcher threw a no-hitter in her first game as a varsity player against Churchville Chi-Li. She followed that up with a one-hitter against Webster Thomas. You go out there and enjoy like immediate success on the mound. Did you surprise yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I've been working hard and throwing all my pitches and just trying to play my part on the team. I mean, with the great catchers we have and the great defense we have, it makes my part as pitcher a lot more easier.
We're all just so confident behind her, and like we're just really supporting her. I think she's done a phenomenal job, and I think she was always been good, but she improved so much from last year to this year, and we can really see it, and she's doing amazing.
And that can make all the difference, can't it?
Oh, sure. I mean, she pitched a no-hitter, so that's a varsity goal, and she did it as a sophomore.
In fact, the Eagles pitched not one, but two sophomores. And while Northrup could become the ace of the staff, it is the other who owns the varsity team experience.
I'm definitely becoming more of a leader on the team, and I think that's fun. Yeah, I think it was definitely different than last year.
Do you like that? You get the year in,
Yeah.
you know, and you're not the freshman anymore.
Yeah.
Is that really good?
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I'm not the little freshman. I still have to carry the med kit, though, which isn't fun.
With so many games, it's good because you can flip-flop them every other game. But if you had a one-game situation and maybe one tired or ran out of gas, you could use the other one too. So it really is a shot in the arm to have two. It's really nice.
Pitching depth bodes well for a team that played up to the sectional semifinals last year and lost to then unbeaten Pittsford Mendon. And it gets better. Northrup's younger sister, Emily, pitching in the 8th grade. She could be ready to contribute next year. That foundation intact, it's now a matter of attempting to convince a good team that it can be great.
I was a little nervous when the season started because I knew we were losing a lot of seniors that had been on the team for a while. But this year, especially the first couple games, I think everyone's really stepped up, and I think we can go pretty far.
What do you think it'll take to go from being just, you know, think of Irondequoit softball as good, not great? What's it take to be great?
I think just everyone sticking together and staying positive and just really working hard and giving it their all.
Has this team got the potential to make that jump into the elite category, do you think?
Absolutely, we do.
And the coach concurs.
I think last year the seniors that we had wanted to win real bad, and they did a really nice job of trusting me and each other, and we overcame some obstacles along the way, ended up 15-7. This year, I think with those girls graduating, we have some younger kids coming up that, you know, they've won at the JV level, but varsity is a big difference than junior varsity with fast pitch. So we're still in the process of learning how to win and get comfortable and feel like each kid can contribute. And if we can do that, I think we'll have a good season. Okay, we'll do some hitting, field, and all that.
Amanda won her third start, a 1-0 win over Bishop Kearney, and for the third straight time, she struck out 14. We would like to thank our sponsors, especially the 11 dealerships in the Vision Automotive Group. They make the Sports Beat possible, as do you. Thanks once again for watching, and we'll see you next week with the Vision High School Sports Beat.